we are going to go ahead and, if you're not on all fours, hands and knees, go ahead and come to that space while I kind of clean everything out. So we are using the knowledge of what stress is and how some basic ways to overcome it. Stress is an automated response, like I was discussing in the lecture on stress earlier, and it's a part of your reptilian brain. And so what we need to do is come into this now moment to alleviate some of that stress. And how do we do that? Pay attention to the breath. The breath is happening in the now moment. If you are feeling, focusing, experiencing the breath on as many levels as you can, it's hard to be anywhere else, because every inhale and every exhale is only happening in the now. And so if you're having a tough day, if you're having just a little bit of lethargy, where you're just not feeling it, if you are overly active and just stressed out, if you are just done with it all, wherever you're at, come to that breath. So you'll start to hear the breath in the background. As you exhale, you'll round the spine and you'll feel that nice stretch, not only in the back of the neck, but in the low back. I know we can round through the upper back, but let's articulate through the other places in the spine. And then when you drop your belly and go to your cow posture, try to feel that in the upper back. And so move with the breath. As you exhale, you'll round. And as you inhale, you'll drop the belly. So you're going to go back and forth, in through the nose, out through the nose. And anytime you want to become a little more flowy, a little more organic, and start to circle the hips, the shoulders, the neck. And so we were talking about, as you move around here, and just really enjoy the moments of articulating through the shoulders, the hips, the spine. And so if you watched or were with our lecture on stress itself, stress is an automated response. We used to run from saber-toothed tigers. Now we're running from bills and bad relationships. And so the brain doesn't know any different. It thinks that it's the same type of stress. And so the main, okay, something was missing. There we go. All right. Sorry about that. We might end up into a little bit of a down dog. So I'd like you to tuck your toes, lift your hips, pedal your feet, wag your tail. All right. So just find some movement there. I'm going to adjust my camera since I had to plug everything in. My bad. Thank you for your patience. All right. And so as you move around in your down dog, you might lift one leg and then lift all fours into your cat-cow. Or if you just need a break this morning and you need to go to child's pose, you're on your knees, your big toes are together, and you're completely without thinking about any other thing. Actually, kind of hard. My internet is being such a jagged pill. I hope you guys can see me well. My internet is sorry guys, it's internet stuff. learning to do things online. All right, so paying attention to the breath. See if you can do 3 more breaths. And then see if you can do 3 more breaths with awareness, where you pay attention to every single moment of that breath. Wonderful. If you are in child's pose or cat-cow, let's everybody find your down dog, and we're going to walk our feet to the top of the mat. Once you're at the top of the mat, you're going to bend your knees generously and roll all the way up to standing, rolling your shoulder heads down and back. From here, we're going to go into our practice. Those of you who have been practicing with me, I've been doing pretty much a Ashtanga type inspired practice, and I hope you enjoy that as we go through the practice. So standing tall at the top of the mat, maybe close your eyes for a moment, look down to see that your second toes are at 12 o'clock. All right. Feet are 4 inches apart. From here, we're going to find that exhale to root our feet. Our inhale to take the arms up. We're going to watch our breath as we exhale and forward fold over our legs. We're going to bring the hands onto the shins as we come halfway up, flatten the back. Hands go down, step back with the left foot into low lunge. Once you find your low lunge, inhale, float your low lunge if it's in your practice and you feel balanced. Hands go down, step back to your down dog. Inhale, floats to plank position. Exhale, lowers halfway. Inhale, up dog, tops of the feet. Exhale, down dog, hips high. Inhale, left foot to ceiling, reach it up. Exhale as left foot steps all the way up by the thumb. You use the inhale to either set the foot if it didn't make it, or if it did make it, you could actually inhale and float on this side as well. Hands down, step forward and forward fold. We're going to bring our hands to our shins, come halfway up. Exhale, forward fold again. We're going to float up on the inhale, reach up, stretch up, look up. And then hands come along the sides, mountain pose. Inhale, arms up, reach up. Exhale, swan dive, forward fold. Hands to shins, inhale, long spine, flat back, halfway lift. Hands down, right foot steps back to low lunge. If you're balanced and strong, inhale, float your low lunge. Exhale takes you back to your down dog. Inhale, floats to your plank position. You can always drop to your knees if you need to. But make sure you pull yourself forward so you have those little T-Rex arms, right? Inhale, up dog. Exhale, tap the toes, lift the hips, down dog. Inhale, allow the right foot to go up to the ceiling. Exhale as the right foot steps up. Now, if it stops short, because we need the heel underneath the knee, you're going to bring it up. If you didn't have to bring it up in that inhale, you'll float. Hands down, steps to the top of the mat and fold. Hands come to shins. Inhale, halfway up, flatten your back. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, all the way up, reach up, stretch up. Exhale, hands at the sides, mountain pose. Again, inhale, arms up. Exhale, swan dive, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, hands down, left foot steps back to low lunge. Inhale, float your low lunge if it's in your practice. Exhale, hands down, step back to your down dog, hips are high. Inhale, floats to your plank position, lower halfway on your exhale. Inhale, up dog, tops of your feet, thighs are lifted. Exhale, down dog. Inhale, left foot to sky. Exhale as left foot steps by left thumb. If you gotta drag it up, do that within that inhale, or you can float. Inhale. Back foot comes forward. Exhale, fold into the legs. Hands to shins. Exhale, fold over again. Inhale, lifts all the way up. Exhale, hands at the sides, mountain pose. Inhale, Arms up. Exhale, swan dive. Hands to shins. Exhale, hands down, right foot steps back. Inhale, floating low lunge if you have it in your practice. Hands down, step back to your down dog. Inhale, flips to your plank. Exhale, lowers halfway. Inhale, up dog. Exhale, down dog. Inhale, right foot high. Exhale, right foot steps. Inhale, float. Hands down, step forward and fold. Inhale, left halfway. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale all the way up. Exhale, hands at the sides. Move the big toes together if they're not already. Second toes at 12 o'clock. Inhale, chair pose. You swing those arms up and sit back. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, lift halfway. Step or hop back with bent elbows. So how does it look if you step back? Notice my elbows are already bending as I'm lowering and stepping back at the same time. Inhale, up dog. Exhale, down dog. Now stay here for several breaths. If you're jumping back, you have to jump back with shock absorbers in your elbows and in your shoulders. So learning to step back as you are bending the elbows will create a muscle memory, all right? So if you can't jump back right now, then just step back and continue to bend those elbows. Those of you who are jumping back, if you're jumping back with straight arms, you're going to blow your rotator cuff. It's not good. Make sure that you're jumping back, elbows are bending, and you're going through that solid moment. On your next inhale, look towards the top of the mat and bend your knees like you're about to pounce, like a little kitten, because you are, right? Right? And then from here, you're going to pounce on that last little exhale. So if you can come right there to the top of the mat, maybe even land with toes together, and inhale right into that halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold again. Inhale, chair pose. Mountain pose, hands at the sides. Wonderful. Inhale, chair. Exhale, fold. Inhale, lift halfway. Exhale, step or hop back, chaturanga. Inhale, up dog. Exhale, down dog. Stay there, breathing in through the nose, out through the nose. Inhale, 1. 2. 3. Inhale, 4, look forward, bend the knees. At the end of the exhale is when you hop. Right into your Betty Boop, halfway left. Exhale, fold. Inhale, chair pose, swing those arms up. Hands at the sides, mountain pose. All right, guys. From here, I'm going to turn to you so you can see. We're going to step our feet about hip distance apart, which is a little wider than our 4 inches stance of our initial sun salutation. And then that second sun salutation that we just did, big toes are together. So if you can take a good step out for me, you're going to grab your peace fingers, little scissor fingers, slide them in between the first and second toe, and then wrap and grab that big toe. As you grab that big toe, push the toes down into the mat, all 10 of them. Use the elbows as they flare out to the side to pull yourself down towards the mat. And so back of the neck is long. Feet are pushing the floor away. Shoulders are moving up towards the hips. Breath is moving. Your gaze is on your navel. So inhale, 1. Inhale, 2. Inhale, 3. 4. Inhale 5, lift halfway. We're going to take our hands palm facing up, stuff it underneath your foot so that your toes, you need to look over here. See how my toes are all the way up to those little wrinkles in my wrist, and I can use my big toe to push into, the big toe knuckle actually, to push into the pad of the thumb. And so as you do that push, give your wrist a little massage with those toes, and then do that same thing again where you're pulling your head down, you're lifting your inner thighs up, you're hollowing your low belly, breathing here for 4, 3, 2, and 1. Wonderful. Hands to hips. Inhale halfway up. Really use the floor. Push the feet into the floor. And then inhale all the way up. Wonderful. Move your feet together. Big toes are touching. We're going to inhale into our chair pose. Sit back. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, lift halfway. Exhale, step or hop back, chaturanga. Inhale, up dog. Exhale, down dog. Wonderful. Inhale, 1, 2, 3, 4. And exhale, jumps right into the inhale of your belly, and then exhale. Big toes are together. Inhale, chair pose. And mountain pose, standing tall at the top of your mat. Turn to the right side of your mat, stepping out with your right foot in a large step. We're doing a giant step. Arms are out. You should be standing underneath wrists. We're going into warrior 2 on the right leg. You're going to pivot the right foot to the back of the mat, or to the right end of your mat. You're going to gaze over that right hand, breathing in through the nose, out through the nose. The front thigh is working towards parallel. The knee is over the shin. Can you feel that breath? Inhale, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Tick-tock, do warrior 2 on the other side. Holding here, gazing over that left hand. Inhale, 1, 2, 3, 4. Inhale, 5, come up. Take warrior 2 again on the right foot. We're coming into side angle. Either the forearm is on the thigh with the top arm winging over the ear, or the hand is on the floor or blocked to the outside of your right foot. Gaze is at the fingertips. Can you feel the breath? Inhale, 1, 2, 3, 4. Use this next inhale to come up. Let's do the exact same pose on the other side. Once you find that pose on the other side, the hand goes down, the right arm goes over, or if you took forearm on the thigh, please do that here. Inhale, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Inhale, come up. Tick-tock the feet, warrior 2, right leg, hands into prayer. We're taking this left elbow over the right thigh. So I have warrior 2 feet, but really like crescent twist body. If you need to breathe, lift your back foot. So if you need to lift your back heel to take some tension off the knee, do so. Inhale, 1, 2, 3, 4. Inhale, 5 comes up. Exhale, 5, tick-tock. So exact same pose, other side. Bend that left knee. Get the right elbow over it deeply. In through the nose, out through the nose. 4, 3, 2, inhale, 1. Use your next inhale to come up. Come out with those arms out and toes facing towards the right side of your mat. Turn to step at the top of your mat to what was mountain pose in the beginning. Big toes are together. Inhale, find your chair. Holding 5 breaths as you gaze at your thumbs. Inhale, 1. Maybe even lift your heels up high, stiletto heels, 2. 3, 4, and 5. Hands at the sides, standing tall. Bringing the hands onto the hips. We're going into a balance series. So I'm going to turn to you for a moment so you can see. You're going to stand on the left foot and you're going to bring the right knee up as though you are standing onto a tall box, right? Some of you will have the ability to grab a hold of the big toe if that's in your practice. Once we spin 5 breaths, there, 5th breath, we move out to Captain Morgan pose, right? Look over the opposite shoulder. We'll be there for 5 breaths. We'll come back center. Everybody, hands will be on hips and leg will be straight, pressing through a gas pedal in a stolen race car, right? All right, here we go, guys. Standing on left foot, bring the right knee up. Either put the hand onto the kneecap or grab a hold of the big toe. Normally I grab the big toe, but today I'm just gonna keep my hand on my kneecap. I don't feel super, I think it's all this science stuff. I'm not feeling super balanced today. In through the nose and out through the nose. And then open it out to the side. Okay. Look over your left shoulder if it's in your practice. And then bring it back center. Everybody hands onto hips. Everybody's leg is straight. Go for 4 breaths. 3, 2, 1. See if you can kick it higher before you release and let it go. Awesome. 2 sides, not my fault. Take it up with the creator. I didn't make it. All right. So bringing that left knee up, right hand onto right hip, really standing up tall, getting the left foot underneath the knee, paying attention to the now moment. And so paying attention to the breath, paying attention to the now moment, trying not to struggle, right? Just kind of not focusing on the problem, right? We're focusing on the possibility of having great balance, right? It's all about languaging. So open out to the side. As you open out to the side, make sure you're standing nice and tall. Turn to look over your right shoulder if it's in your practice. And then wonderful. We're all going to bring it back center. Hands are onto hips. Leg goes straight. You point through the toes for 4 more. 3, 2. And kick it higher before you let go. And 1. Shake that off. Wonderful. All right. So go ahead and move your head, your neck, your hips, your shoulders around for a moment. You're going to come to the top of the mat if you're not already there. Big toes are together. We're going to find that chair pose again. Inhale, chair. Exhale, fold. Inhale, lift halfway. Exhale, step or hop back. Inhale, up dog. Exhale, down dog. Wonderful. From here, I'm going to ask you to step or hop in between your hands to a seated position. So just come to a seated position, nothing too fancy dancy, right? If you have blocks, use blocks. If you don't, it's not necessary. I'm going to demonstrate once with blocks and then without the blocks. It's just harder without the blocks. That's all there is to it. So I'm turning to you so you can see. We're going to sit up nice and tall. We're going to find our legs are lifting. We're in our boat position. And then the blocks are along the sides of the thighs, right? So not along your butt, but a little forward, maybe even between your fingertips. And so no rounding in the back, lifting up, squeezing those shoulder blades behind you slightly. We're going to take the right ankle over the left, close the gap between the thighs and the chest, put the hands down, lift up, and put it down, finding your boat again. Inhale, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Left over right, lift, put it back down. Now, if you can't lift completely coming back into your boat, you can always leave your feet down in that lift and just lift the butt. For 2 more, and 1. Right leg over left, come into that lift, and put it down. Wonderful. Last one here for 4, 3, 2, and 1. Left over right, lift. See if you can get those feet underneath you or find some way to do that. You're going to move the blocks out of the way. We're going to step back to our down dog. Inhale, plank. Exhale, lower halfway. Inhale, up dog. Lay down onto your belly. Wonderful. All right, so from here, we're going to work some back strength. So before we get too much into that, again, remember I was talking about how your fight, flight, or freeze mechanisms are challenged. It tends to cause back pain, just simply because several reasons. So if you're freezing, you're probably not paying attention to it. If you're flighting, you're probably doing things to it that don't necessarily feel restorative and healthy. And then also, if you are in fight mode, you're probably actively doing things that'll make your back hurt. Why? Our nervous system is deeply connected to this part of our body. It enables us to run from saber-toothed tigers or our back to hurt when there's coronavirus. Right? Christmas and coronavirus, food, clothing, shelter, right, are all challenged. So from this space, I want us to really work these low back bends so that our back can stay healthy. Back pain, it should not be a thing in yoga, all right? And so if you're lifting, only lift enough that you feel like you're strong lifting from internally, not pressing into your back bend. If that makes sense, I'll try to explain it more if it doesn't. So from here, I'm going to have you bring your hands back, walk your hands back along those low ribs. So we're going to come into actually, let's take them back here. Let's go all the way back to a locust pose. So what I'm going to do is, notice my fingernails are down. I'm going to, when I stop talking for a moment, I'm going to put my forehead down somewhere between my hairline and my brow line, much like a child's pose. When I do this, I'm going to press my hands, I'm going to press my forehead, I'm going to press my hips, and then squeezing my toes and my heels together, I'm going to stretch those legs out to lift them off the floor. All right? So from here, stretch those arms back, press the back of the hands and the fingernails down. Squeeze the shoulder blades together so the fronts of the shoulders move away from the mat. Press the forehead down. Press the hips down. Squeeze the legs, big toes, and heels together. Press, press, press into the floor. Lengthen, lengthen, lengthen. Inhale, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Take those fingertips, slide them up by your rib cage like your thing from Adam's Family. Push the feet down now. Roll the shoulder heads back, lift up part way. Inhale, 1. Squeeze those legs. Squeeze those elbows. 2, 3, 4, and 5. Put those hands down even a little further back. Lift up dog. Maybe even look up this time. Inhale, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Fifth exhale will take you to your down dog. Inhale, float plank. Exhale, lower. Up dog, inhale. Exhale, down dog. Wonderful. Looking towards the top of your mat, step, jump, or crawl to a seated position. You can do the little cross. Oh, all right. So I have to wrap this up because my phone's about to die. Are you still there, Amy? I can't tell. I think it might have kicked me off. There we go. Sorry, phone's about to die. So we were getting to the hip opener section anyway, so we'll go ahead and enter into that space. You know, sometimes technology decides how long you're going to be on a Zoom. Right? All right, so coming to that seated position at the top of your mat, we're going to take let's go ahead and start with taking the left leg long. Today, because we're not going to do deep back bending, because I'm kind of running short on time, we're going to take the right foot back today. Notice that I am on shoelaces. All 5 toenails are down. I can see the whole sole. I can see my whole sole. I can see the sole of the foot peeking out behind me. My knees are together. And so you have an option here of going forward if you want, or if you feel like being all Gumby about it, you can actually grab a hold of the left leg and bring it up. So you decide what it is that you want to do today. Regardless of where you're at, you're starting to breathe deeply and focus on that breath, gazing at your left big toes. Inhale, 1, or toe, unless you have 2 big toes. Inhale, 2. Inhale, 3. Inhale, 4. Inhale, 5. See if you can take that face to the shin. Exhale, bring the left shin in front of the right. Put the hands down. Let's see if we can lift off the floor with no blocks and put it back down. Why not? Right? All right. And so we're going to do the same thing on the other side. Typically in Ashtanga, and I change this class up daily, you would kind of jump back and chaturanga, up dog, down dog. Some days we'll do that. Some days we won't. So go ahead and bring the left foot back. It's in half hero's pose is what that's called. And then we're going to take the other leg. So if you came forward on this side, you need to come forward on the other side, right? Mirror imaging everything. Checking this left side. Left side's talking to me a little bit today, so I'm going to be kind to it, right? And so wherever I'm at, I'm focusing on really expressing through the heart. I'm trying to lift up. I'm really focusing on breathing in through the nose and out through the nose in a manner that is focused enough that I'm following it and staying here in the present moment rather than going through all your to-do lists, right? Or all your worries. Choosing what you want to think about. Wonderful. We're going to release that. Bring that left leg around. We're going to cross the right over the left. The hands go down front of the hips. You're going to lift up and put it back down. This time, I'm going to ask you to bring the right heel. Let me turn to you. Bring the right heel somewhat underneath the left butt cheek so that the right knee is pointed straight forward. You are going to bring the left leg over to the thigh side or keep it at the shin side, whatever side the foot can be flat. From that space, I'm going to ask you to take your right arm, lace it over the knee. Take your left hand, don't put it on the floor to twist. Use your core to twist as you put your hand on your low back. Turning over your left shoulder, inhale 1, 2, 3, sitting up taller, 4, inhale 5, turn back around. We're going to take left ankle over right, hands are down and forward, lift and put it down. Other side, mirror imaging, wherever your foot was on one side, you want to have it on the other. You also want the foot flat. Bringing the left elbow over, taking the right hand onto the low back, lifting your heart and gazing over your shoulder. Inhale 1, 2, 3, 4. Inhale 5, turn back around. Right ankle over left, hands forward, lift, and put it back down. Wonderful. From here, I'm going to ask you to go ahead and let's take the left leg long. Let's take the right heel up into the groin or into the inner thigh, whichever one serves you today. Coming forward, even that right hand can come behind your back as you come forward. Inhale 1. Inhale 2. Inhale 3. Inhale 4. Inhale 5. Lift halfway. Exhale 5. Bring the left ankle over the right. Inhale, lift, and put it back down. Same exact pose, mirror imaging on the other side. Right? And then coming forward. Inhale 1. Inhale 2. 3. 4. And 5. Inhale, lift halfway. Exhale, right ankle over left. Inhale, lift, and put it back down. Wonderful. We're going to go ahead and close out today's class with a little bit of meditation. So if you want to lay on your back, if you want to settle into your Shavasana pose, any little spinal twists that you would like to do those here. If you have some extra stuff that you feel like you need to work out, do so. But realize that we really just took time to integrate our pelvic floor so that our low back is healthy and kind of moves through some strong balancing hip openers. So beyond a little bit of a spinal twist, you should be fairly balanced, right? And so finding yourself in Shavasana, laying onto your back. And so we were talking earlier in the lecture part of this class about what stress is. So as you wiggle all the last bit of tensions out in your body to lay down onto the mat, just kind of give a baseline scan of your thoughts and your concerns right now, whatever those might be, and see how many of them are tethered to food, clothing, shelter, like those security-based needs. And so as you lay here and you're just breathing and you're noticing the breath, random thoughts of things that are challenges should start to pop up for you. And just give them a label. Are they food, clothing, shelter? Are they something else? Just get an idea of how many thoughts that regularly circle in the back of your mind are this like primitive stress response. Just a little checklist. And then as you've gone through your mind and you've felt that little bit of a checklist and you've labeled what has to do with food, clothing, shelter, those base security needs, let go of the thought necessarily, right? Don't let it kudzu and spiral off into 1,000 other thoughts, but really feel in your body where the energy of those concerns resides, like, and how it resides. So as the thoughts of concerns come up, like, do you feel like a gripping in your low gut, right? Do you feel a numbness in your body? Do you feel a fluttering somewhere? This is a nervous system response that is activated from thought, right? We know even a trigger point in the muscle is really just an activated response in the muscle where it starts to just trigger and flutter, right? And so if thoughts are fluttering and making something energetically happen in your body, where do you feel that? Do you feel it around your shoulders, your jaw, your neck, your pelvis? And what is the sensation? Now that you've identified those spaces, can you drop the concern, the worry, that stressful thought, and meditate on what possibility? And I know some people are having a hard time even imagining remotely any type of possibility in this time of challenge, right? I understand that. I'm right there in the same boat with you. I own a yoga studio, right? However, what possibilities could there be there? So I'll give you an example from my own personal experience. You know, I have yoga studios that are completely shut down right now. without a real feeling that they're going to be open anytime soon again due to the virus, right? And so I can circle that thought and that worry and that concern in my mind over and over again, and then let every thought attached to that spiral off. And with each added thought, I can feel worse and worse and worse, physically, spiritually, emotionally, right? Because my body's going to feel it, my mind, my endocrine system, everything is going to experience those worries, those concerns. Or I can think about the possibilities. The possibilities are that I can potentially be able to be a conduit or a teacher or a guide to a lot more people than are just in my immediate studios. I'm now online and I'm reaching out into the ether, out into the world. And that could be a good possibility. That could be something new and something that I believe that my teachings could help people, right? And so I can either be caught up on the problem or I can be caught up on the possibilities. And so what are your possibilities right now? What could you possibly do if you knew you wouldn't fail? What is your heart's desire? Where is the world kind of guiding you to go now? Don't argue with it. Like really like submit into what would feel good to be and do and experience in this world. Instead of this trudging feeling that you just have to get through life, how could you live while you're here? What possibilities could happen out of this? And if you don't see any, it's okay. But try not to focus on the problem. There's no solutions there. And so feeling your own innate potential, knowing your own inner strength has carried you through many scenarios within your own life, and it's your own inner strength can do that for you now. You are the one that's done everything within your life. Make it or break it, you are the one that's made the decisions. And you can do these again now. They're just new decisions. New things to work with. And then lastly, we focused on the breath. We focused on possibilities. The last thing to alleviate your stress is what kind of good can you do in the world today? How can you help push someone else's boat along by just sending a little ripple their way? How can you be of service to the world around you? And so seeing yourself being of service to people in times of need, seeing that energy within you moving up to altruism, moving out of that reptilian brain, out of that sympathetic response, and moving your mind up to the place of the heart, up to altruism, up moving the energy toward your frontal cortex where you can see how useful you could be in this world and in this moment. Whatever your gift is, everybody's got one. If you don't have one, make it a magical journey on finding what your gift is. Now, as in all Ashtanga classes, we tend to ask you to lay here for as long as you can and meditate on the breath, meditate on possibility, meditate on being of service. And so I say that to you today as I go about doing those same things in my day today. So I'm going to see what little boats I can push on their ripples. As you lay here and meditate, I wish you a namaste. Please take your time.